Motivation Strategies. I'm Melody Whalert with Go Teach 11 here at Education Service Center Region 11. Today's students have a sense of hyper-connectedness. They do seem to be plugged in constantly, but at the same time, they embrace the concept of connecting globally as simply the norm. Language and cultures do not seem to be barriers in their virtual world. So, if you agree this generation is uber social, it then becomes a welcome challenge for teachers to tap into the strengths of students and, most importantly, make their learning relevant and of value to them. To our learners, they aren't just using technology as a special tool, rather, their perception is that it's just a natural way to communicate. The skill of discernment becomes a part of online expectations, not only for safety, but for validity of sources and their digital footprint. You learned about Philip Schlechty's 5 levels of engagement earlier. Do you remember the retreatism level? In fact, he once said, engagement is important because it is integrally related to effort. While that sounds like it's an obvious statement, oftentimes teachers who love their subject area go on autopilot. Think Ferris Bueller's teacher. Recognizing when to stop direct teaching and offer inspiring opportunities for students to explore learning and make it their own is truly a best practice. Allowing students to offer opinions and share with friends is a natural part of learning, but should culminate with evidence of a product or performance that is authentic and really matters. Of course, this is easier said than done. We're going to take a closer look at key components of engaged learners. You'll remember the power of an image starter from the previous video. Picture this. Your students enter class and your principal requires that they do bell work. If that daily task becomes ho-hum and translates to pen and paper work only every day, then you'll want to ramp it up on occasion. Even the element of nuance or surprise can pique students' attention. Rearrange the room. Allow flexible seating on occasion. It builds anticipation. Students will engage in learning if they think they have something to say about it. If you give them a chance to connect their prior experiences, they may talk to their group about the topic. So let them. They'll put a social spin on the task and enjoy a little challenge of seeing which group got it first or who got a difficult problem solved correctly. If this reminds you of Kahoot or GimKit or other online games, you're on the right track. Lots of research says those games do have a positive effect on learning. The example here is to have a small sense of mystery or curiosity. Ask students to decide what it is they see and then drop in the vocabulary word. The ensuing discussion reveals more information about whether this substance flows faster or slower in extreme heat or freezing temperatures. But the win-win in this strategy is that students have captured the image along with the vocabulary word in their brains. Think of that snapshot. The added advantage is that the peer discussion may have revealed something humorous or it was just plain fun. The teacher now can trust that the term viscosity will be internalized and remembered beyond next Friday's quiz. The brain remembers novelty and emotional experiences. For learning to truly be of interest to students, there must be some element of relevance to the student. Another way to think about relevance is while planning for new information to be presented, consider the context. Really, the student's life and experience are the context. It may be the music they listen to, the foods they eat, the pop stars, the Netflix shows, or their social media habits. You create the magic. Again, without revealing too much, show another image like this one and allow for group discussion. You might post an image with a little cognitive dissonance by choosing odd photos that can't be interpreted easily. Look at this and ask them to identify things they already know and guess what could be going on. In this case, I'll zoom in on the strange area in front of the Notre Dame Cathedral. Here's where students key in. Since they see padlocks and maybe some graffiti, they are ready to ask questions. Research shows that great questions fuel the flame of critical thinking. So, just as in big cities in the USA, bridges are being taken over by couples leaving a lock to represent their eternal love and then tossing the key in the river. The context for students is that they may understand love and symbolic gestures to relate to it. Just seeing a common padlock made a connection. What a hook for Romeo and Juliet! So, making that connection from pop culture to anything specific in their own lives is key to allowing them to choose their level of engagement. It really does mean the teacher creates some magic. Storytelling is another key concept in student engagement, but you can't ramble on about your own personal life and visiting Aunt Eunice at the retirement home. Rather, your story should connect to their lives. Tell them about when you first learned to drive. Not only does this allow you to personalize your instruction, it makes you human, and they form a positive relationship with you. They will trust you and want to participate in the accepting culture that you've built in your classroom. Try to find your passion as you share lessons because that's contagious. Students will naturally gravitate toward you and your message if you appear genuinely in love with your content. Don't forget, humor is a big winner as an engaged strategy as well. But just be careful not to use sarcasm as it can backfire. Just a bit more about how the brain learns. Teachers target the frontal lobe of the brain because that's where the reasoning and decision-making part is. Of course, we hope students use all of their brains while learning, but making a lesson stick and hopefully remain in the long-term area of the brain is the real goal. The key for targeting permanent memory is to embed points in the lesson that elicit emotions, as we discussed in the visual literacy video. But aside from visuals, music also aids in building memory. Music and memory are located in the same area of the brain. This is why you can sing along with the radio, a song from high school, and the lyrics flow easily, even after 20 years. Music, emotional experiences such as active learning games and humor are certainly strategies that can be employed in any lesson. Again, this bears repeating that if you realize you are doing all the talking and students' eyes are glazing over, you need to stop and let them interact with the topic. A general rule of thumb is for every 10 minutes of direct teach, or if you've stayed on the same task, break the pace for 2 minutes. That doesn't mean take a break, it means alter the focus by doing a turn and talk, or write a short reflection, or show a short video clip. This resets the attention meter to focus for another 10 minutes. Just in case you're viewing this video and in the back of your mind you're questioning whether your own personality will allow you to relax and have fun with students, let me clarify the difference between entertaining and the new term edutainment. Certainly those teachers who have a natural flair for the dramatic will be fine, but you're really not there to put on a performance for your students. Philip Schlechte has gone on record as saying, schools cannot be made great by great teacher performances. They will only be made great by great student performances. So please understand that engagement doesn't mean entertainment, but it can be enjoyable. The difference is entertainment is meant to distract attention. Engagement focuses attention. You are the teacher, the master of creative lessons that connect content to students through many ways. Students will have fewer behavior problems when the class is more than compliant. When there's chatter that includes key vocabulary and students are sharing ideas and asking questions, you will have reached that highest level of engagement, authentic engagement, where they are immersed in work that has meaning and value to them.